You're all very welcome to this Aquarius Funding Call 2 webinar. My name is Bernadette Nichanila. So I'll just give you a brief introduction to the agenda and to the Aquarius project for the next couple of minutes. And then Annalie Strobel from the Alfred Wegener Institute will talk you through the Call 2 and the process for call for proposals. And then Vanessa will present the Transnational Access Application Platform. So this is the online application platform where you submit your application. And then we'll have a short Q&A session. So please either unmute yourself or place your question in the chat. And we'll try and answer as many questions as possible. If we don't get to them today, then we'll get to them. We'll email the responses out to everybody who has registered in the next couple of days. So Annalie, if you could bring up the next slide. So the Aquarius project is a Horizon Europe funded program funded under the Horizon Europe program for research and innovation within the Research Infrastructure Services call. So the main objective of Aquarius is to provide access to a number of marine and freshwater research infrastructures. And there's a training component to the project as well, just to ensure users of the infrastructures can use them to their full potential, both now and into the future. The project began in March 2024 and has a 4-year duration, so ends in February 2028. And the consortium is made up of 45 partners from 18 European countries. The overall budget is 14.5 million, and 8.1 of this budget is dedicated to transnational access. So free access basically to the infrastructures that are in the project. Aquarius provides access to a total of 57 research infrastructures. And the graphic in your slide there shows the locations of the infrastructures. They're located all over Europe, with some in Greenland and Iceland also not visible in the graphic there on the slide. And the types of infrastructures vary from research vessels, laboratory facilities, aircraft, drones, fixed and mobile marine observatories, and river super sites. So next slide, please. The thematic and geographical scope of Aquarius is based on the mission Ocean and Waters objectives. So Aquarius Call 2 applicants are asked to focus on the overarching challenges identified by the mission, such as the ones in your slide here identified for the various regions, to protect and restore marine and freshwater ecosystems, to make the sustainable blue economy carbon neutral and circular, and to prevent and eliminate pollution of our ocean, seas and waters. And Aquarius infrastructures are available for access in all of these regions. Basically the Atlantic Arctic, the Mediterranean, the Baltic and North Sea, and the Black Sea and Danube region. Next slide. So based on these regions, the approach we've taken is to create a single access catalogue of all of the 57 research infrastructures. And the infrastructures are categorized by region and type. So when you go into our infrastructures catalogue, which is available on our website, you can filter your search accordingly to find an infrastructure suitable for your requirements. And then within the catalogue, there's a dedicated page per infrastructure, and all of the information relating to that infrastructure is on the page, such as their normal area of operation, the available travel and logistics budget, infrastructure's availability, the time of year that they're available, and also the technical capability and what's included in the access. When you apply for the access, what exactly do you get? The infrastructure operator's contact details are also available on that page in most cases. If there isn't a direct contact for the infrastructure, you can contact us in the coordination office with any queries, and we will direct your query to the relevant operator. And we would advise all applicants to contact the operator in the first instance before you start submitting your application form, just to make sure that whatever work that you intend doing is feasible with that infrastructure. And that's it. I'll hand you over to Annalie now. We'll talk you through the second call. Thanks, Annalie.
Yeah, thank you, Bernie, for this nice introduction about Aquarius. My name is Annalie Strobel. I work at the Alfred Wegener Institute, and I will talk a bit about the second AQUARIUS Transnational Access Call for Proposals that is currently open. But before I start with the call, I would like to briefly introduce you to the transnational access that is offered in the AQUARIUS project. So essentially, transnational access in AQUARIUS allows researchers to access research infrastructures that are owned by the AQUARIUS beneficiaries. And through AQUARIUS, researchers can apply for physical access to the infrastructures located in other countries, so outside their own base of operation. But this access can not only be physical, but can also be remote or virtual. And in case of physical or remote access, it includes all the logistics costs, the technological access, the scientific support during the use of the facilities. The access is granted through a competitive process based on scientific proposals. And only those proposals that are scientifically excellent will be selected for funding. And if you are successful in your application, applicants receive not only access to the infrastructure, but we also cover travel expenses and logistics costs. And the infrastructures that AQUARIUS offers spans the EU mission, ocean and waters regions that Bernie just showed, and it gives researchers access to state-of-the-art equipment, data, samples, expertise, but also well-established networks within AQUARIUS. Up to 20% of access units can be awarded to users from outside the EU, but also non-EU applicants can apply until this limit of access. And yeah, I think that's it about the transnational access. Let me see why it's not moving now. But I will go straight to introduce you to the second AQUARIUS Transnational Access called the Marine and Freshwater Infrastructure Access Call that is currently open. In general, AQUARIUS supports innovation through two competitive transnational access funding calls that are managed through a dedicated user-friendly platform that we developed particularly for this project, and it will be introduced directly after my presentation. And to apply for AQUARIUS Transnational Access, the application should address one or more of the defined scientific challenges related to the EU mission Ocean that was introduced a bit earlier. And the target groups for our transnational access calls are research scientists from academia, but also applicants from industry, public bodies, or citizen science groups are very welcome to apply as long as they comply with our eligibility criteria that I introduced to you in a second. The first AQUARIUS Transnational Access call already closed in January this year, and the second Transnational Access call opened on 2nd of September this year and will stay open for submission of proposals until 28th of October. You can find more details about the application guidelines and so on at the AQUARIUS website under this address shown here on this page. So who can apply and who is eligible to submit a proposal and receive funding from AQUARIUS? So our eligibility criteria is that the applying user group leader and the majority of the users must work in a country other than the country that owns and operates the infrastructure that you apply for. Then we want to foster international cooperation also. So we welcome applications from single countries, but if you have a user group with more than 4 users from different organizations, you must include partners also from at least 2 different countries. Then only users who are allowed to disseminate their results will profit from the transnational access unless they work for small or medium-sized enterprises. then of course the user group leader should have the appropriate expertise to conduct the proposed work. And we want that all information that we need for the scientific and logistic evaluation that allows us to judge if you're eligible for the application, that this is all entered in our Aquarius online application platform that we will introduce you now in this webinar as well. The thematic topics and challenges on which proposals should be submitted should correspond to at least one or more of these following themes and scientific challenges of the EU mission Oceans and Waters. I'm not going to read all of them out. They are available on our website, but the large overarching topics that your research should fit into is sustainable management of aquatic resources, ecosystem protection and biodiversity restoration, pollution reductions and circular solution, climate resilience and multi-stressor adaptation, or sustainable blue economy and innovation. Or it can also fit into inclusive governance and public engagement. So your research should fit into one or more of these overarching topics. To apply for the Aquarius Transnational Access Call, the first thing you should do is to check the eligibility requirements. So if you're eligible to apply at all, and if your planned project fulfills one or more of the call challenges that I just briefly introduced. And then you should check the research infrastructure catalog that Bernie introduced in the beginning. So you can have a look which infrastructure is the best for your transnational access project. Does it have the capability that you need, and what is the normal area of operation of the infrastructure? Is it available at the time that you need it? What is the travel and logistics budget that is available for the infrastructure? Because this is also limited and can also be possible that it does not cover all the costs that you need. And it also, the catalog also has the contact details infrastructure of the infrastructure operators, and we encourage you to contact the operator of the infrastructure as early as possible and before you submit a proposal, so that you can really discuss with them if the infrastructure is available and if you can perform your work with this infrastructure as you are planning it. And then the next step is to register on the Aquarius Transnational Access platform and create an account there. And in this platform, you can fill in all information about your application, and also submit your research plan, CV, etc. So provide all the appendices, and then in the last step, review and submit your application before the deadlines. It's always good not to wait for the last second, because submissions later than the deadline cannot be accepted at all. The portal will close then. You can process your application in the Aquarius Transnational Access platform in several sessions and save it in between, but be aware that as a user group leader, you can only submit one application per call. The appendices that you need to prepare and submit via the online application plan is a scientific project description with 10 pages maximum, a CV of the main applicant, just 2 pages, an initial data management plan, and you find a template for this on the Aquarius website, and also a recommendation letter if you are a user group leader without holding a PhD or an early career researchers. And all the templates that you need for these appendices are available in the Aquarius Transnational Access platform document library and also on our website. And now I will directly hand over to my colleague Vanessa, who's introducing you the steps in this online application platform for your application. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Anneli. I'm Vanessa Spadetto. I'm project manager for Interact, and I will present you Interact tab, how to fill in the application form and submit. So now I will share my screen and slideshow. Can you see my slide? Does it work? Yes, no?
Yes, all good.
Perfect. Okay, I will struggle, I think, to fit in 5 minutes, but fortunately, all this content is available in the manual for applying to Aquarius tab that is available in the tab document library. But anyway, so you can apply for the Aquarius TA call only via Aquarius tab, and you have to do it within the deadline because after that, the system is closing and you cannot submit an application. This is the link, the URL of the Aquarius tab that you can also find in the Aquarius website. You need first to, of course, register to the system to be able to submit an application. And after you have done that, you can go either to the homepage or the open calls menu item, and you can click apply. Here is continue because I already started the application, but you click on apply and you can start the application. You can see on the left side, this is all the steps you have to go through to be able to submit the application. And the first thing is to accept the terms and conditions of Aquarius, the data policy, and the privacy and cookie policy. Then the first actual step is to insert information about your project, so the project acronym, the title, and a project summary. Then you have to select the EU discipline classification that is your proposal referring to, and up to 5 topic keywords that are among the NISA GNCD keywords list. This is very useful for us to then track what Aquarius is funding and what is research being done. Then there is a question about if you have previously received EU funding through other transnational access program. Please respond honestly, and this does not affect in any way your chances to be granted. Is for the coordination to be able to monitor and track the progresses with other funding programs that have been also involved too. Then you can save and go next. And for every step, once you have started an application, the application can be found in the Aquarius tab when you log in, when you click in My Application, and you can keep editing as much as you want before the deadline and before the submission. The submission is final, and then you cannot edit anymore. But then you save every time, and you can go back to your application. Then the next step after the project outline is the user group. You have to insert information about all the users that will request access to infrastructure. It's important that all the users that will access the infrastructure are listed here. If you don't know yet all of them, please add them anyway. Because based on that, then the calculation of the proposed costs are done. So we need to know the proposed cost actually done. And you cannot add one more person afterwards. So important thing, if you are the person that have registered and is starting the application in Aquarius tab, you also have to be the user group leader, because this is important for us to have consistency in the communication, because all the communication that are done through tab and your email is important. That is also the PI that is then signing the agreement and have the liabilities with the Aquarius to actually conduct the access. So you can press fill in with your registration data. It's automatically fill in with the registration data of your own account, but then you can also add the first user group member. And and here, so you can see that I put the icon, click on true for the user group leader because you are the main applicant. Then if you're early career research, you need to select the early career researcher, and you will have to also upload a recommendation letter as a mandatory attachment at the end of the application. Then it's asking if your institution is part of the Aquarius consortium. You can check that in the Aquarius website on the partners webpage. And this does not affect your chances to be granted. It's just for the coordination to know, because based on that, if you are granted, they will have to follow a different reimbursement model, but it doesn't affect in any way your chances to be granted and your evaluation in general. So then you have added the information about you, and you can add information about the other user group members by clicking plus add a new user group member. When you have added all your user group members, you can save and go next. The next section is the logistic information, so inserting the request of access to the infrastructures. So you choose the first research infrastructure. You can select among the research infrastructure in this drop-down menu. It lists all the ARIs that are available for this call. You can choose a second option if the first is not available. Then you select the type of access. In this case, only physical access is available. And then you add all the user group members that will access the infrastructure in that period. And you see the total number of members that have requested that access, that is 2 in this case. Then you have a calendar option that where you have to select the access period. So when you would like to access the infrastructure, the calendar show you the availability of the ARI. So you can select the period only within the availability of the ARI. And then the requested units. So the days that you will access the infrastructure for the vessels is not the number of days that you are at sea, so maybe 1 month, but it's only the science or working days that you're actually working on your project. Then if you want to access the infrastructure another time for another period, or you want to access another research infrastructure within the same proposal, you click choose a new infrastructure and you add the same information. For these 3 ARIs in particular, you have a different way to add access requests. This is because the system calculates the access cost differently based on the unit cost calculation they're using. And for these 3, you have to do it slightly different. So you choose the infrastructure, and then you have to add the access within the infrastructure, and you have to add it for each person for each period. What does it mean? So for example, here I added physical access for myself for 1 period. If I want to access the infrastructure again, myself, I add new access, and I add myself again for another period. If another person wants to come to the infrastructure in the same period that I'm going, for example, I added myself for May now, and I want the other users to come with me, I add a new access with the other user for the same period. So it's 1 access request per person per period for these 3 types of infrastructure. This information is also available in the manual. I know that I'm going very fast for you to understand now. So then what is left? Some question about if you need training and some logistic information about the proposal. Then save and go next. What is next is the travel cost and logistic cost that you are applying to. So you add the cost by clicking add here, the circle, and you need to add all the costs in the access of the PI, because the PI institution or the PI is the one that will be reimbursed. So you can just add all of them in the access of the PI. And you have 3 eligible cost categories. There is the travel cost, the visa, and the freight cost. You add the cost amount and some notes information about what is the cost about. You add all the costs, and then you can save and go next. What is next is the publication and also more scientific related information. The first question is to select 1 or more EU mission ocean region that your proposal is contributing to, and then provide an explanation in the text field below. And then the second question is to explain how your proposal contributes to the Aquarius call priorities and the objectives of the European mission ocean to 2030. Then if you have any planned publication, and please provide 5 most relevant publications that you have already published. Then final section of the proposal form is to attach all the Mandatory attachments, appendix, there is the research plan, the CV, the recommendation letter if you're an early career researcher, and the data management plan. You can find the templates for these in the tab document library. Maybe I can show you here on the menu side is the document library, and you find all the templates, also including the guidelines for applicants on how to apply. And then the final is to review all the information. You can always correct them until you have submitted. So also now you can go back and edit the information. So review all the information, but please keep in mind that once you have submitted, you cannot edit anymore. And after you submitted, if you go to the My Application, you will see your application as submitted, and you can only view it, but you can always view it. If you experience any technical issues or you have a technical question about Aquarius tab, you can contact the IT support at aquarius@incod.it. Or for a question about the application procedure and call documentation, you can contact aquarius.eu@avi.de. I think that was all for me. I don't know if I kept in time. I remember again, you can find information in the tab document library also.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. Thanks, Amelia, for joining us. The contact details, if you have any more queries, are on our website. For ourselves in the Marine Institute, the coordination office, and there's also contact details on the website for call application office and AVI, and throughout the website really. And for the infrastructure operators, there are contact details on most of the infrastructure pages to contact them directly. And if you don't get a response, please contact the coordination office and we will follow up with them. And that's it. Thanks everyone again for joining.